Hello everybody and welcome to Hands-On GameMaker Studio. As a request, we are going to be creating a platform game to help you get introduced to the GameMaker software. So we will first create the game and drag and drop. Then once we feel comfortable using this method, we will recreate the game using GML. So as an intro video, I thought we could create an intro for our game. So here's a well, basically, so like the first thing that you want to do is go ahead and go to new, and I'll just create a project here and I'll name it tutorial, and then I'll select create. Alright, so now that we have our GameMaker open here, the first thing we're going to do is be creating 3 sprites. So basically here, sprites are basically the images that mask objects present in the game world. So sprites are just the graphics we see when playing a 2D video game, whereas the graphics in a 3D video game are known as 3D models or just models. Now, since getting to know the graphical user interface is important to help with development and ease of use on the toolbar, that's this area right here, go ahead and click the Create a Sprite icon, which is right here. Okay. So the first sprite we'll be creating is our logo. We're going to want to name the sprite something meaningful, that way we know what it is later on. I'm just going to name it like this, sprite, so it's the resource type, and then with the uppercase letter I'm going to say what it is, so logo. And let's go ahead and click on the edit sprite button here. And now that the sprite editor is up, we're going to go ahead and select right here to create a new sprite. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this sprite fairly big, because we want people to be able to see our logo. So let's make it I don't know, 207 width and 70 height. That should be pretty big. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty big. Alright, so go ahead and double click that blank sprite that we just created, and let's go ahead and select the draw text here. I'm just going to select here, and for now, for me, I'm just going to put company name. For you, you can put your actual company. So if you're I don't know, Gizmo Games, that's what you would type. Alright, so there we go. It's pretty small. Let's go ahead and change that here. I'm going to select a font that I like. Oh, here we go. I'll just use Buxton Sketch, and I'll go ahead and make it bold, and let's make it kind of big. So I'm going to select 24 here. There we go. That's pretty big. And I'm also going to make mine blue. Alright. Now, just for effect, because what I'm having in my mind here is basically it's going to be like a laser shoots across the screen, sparks are going to be flying everywhere, and our company name will appear, glowing and everything like that. So I'm going to make my image glow as well. So let's go ahead and go to image glow, and I'm going to actually make it the same color as my sprite. It doesn't have to be the same shade of blue, but yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Alright, so let's go ahead and click OK on that. And now what we're going to do here is modify the mask. Now a mask is basically, I'm not exactly sure how to explain it just yet. I'll explain it way more in detail in later tutorials, but just for the beginner, I'm trying to think of how I would do it. Okay, so think of it as, imagine you have a cup in front of you. Normally you can grab the cup from all angles. Imagine that there was, now the mask is basically what you grab. So the mask would be covering the whole cup. Now if the mask was smaller than the whole cup, you would actually be grabbing off of the cup itself on the inside, and that's how you would lift it up. So it's basically just a collision detection. So I want to go ahead and make this the full image, and I'm going to make it precise. Now this is going to be important because we're going to want objects. We're going to create the sparks, and they're going to be flying off of this. So we're going to want it them to be actually coming off the logo itself. So just go ahead and make that precise. And we're going to center our origin here and click OK. And we'll create another sprite, and as I said before, we're going to create some sparks. Let's go ahead and name it sprite spark. Edit sprite once more. And this one we're going to actually make pretty small, so I'm going to go ahead and do let's see here. I'll make it 8 by 2 because sparks are pretty tiny. Let me zoom in here just so I can see. And you can pretty much color a spark however you want. They're extremely small, so it's not going to really matter too much. So I'm just going to paint the whole thing black first. I'm going to get a light grayish color pencil tool here and color it like that. And then on this side, I'm going to paint it white. So yeah, it doesn't look too bad. And actually, I think I might change the color of one of these here just for a little bit of a effect. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. Now, actually, I'm going to make the spark animated just to kind of have an effect. Kind of like more realistic. So let's go ahead and copy it and add 2 more by pasting. Let's go into here, zoom in once more. And you can pretty much color these however you want. It's not really going to matter too much. I'm just going to do black here, like that, and that looks good to me. Okay, now we'll go into this one, and we'll go ahead and change it to gray over here as well. I'll have it going across the top, and we'll do darker gray down here. Okay, yeah. And we can see a preview there, but it's not really going to matter too much. And let's go ahead and modify our mask again. Full image, precise once again. Center it, and okay. Now the last thing I want to create is a laser. Now this laser is going to shoot across the screen, and we're going to have it to where sparks are flying from it as well. And when it reaches about the middle of the screen, it's going to create our logo. And sparks are going to come flying out of our logo. So let's go ahead and create one more sprite. We'll name it objectLaser. Edit sprite. Oh, sorry, click load. Let's do it. Edit sprite. We'll add a sprite here. And this one we're going to make kind of long because, well, we want to be able to see it. So I'm going to go ahead and make it 250 by 8. That looks like a decent size for a laser. Let's zoom in here. Let me go in some more. So I'm going to go ahead and just do kind of a simple effect. Do black on the outer rims, some dark blue, then light blue, and then white to give it that cool looking effect. So go ahead and do this all the way across. Okay, let's do the same thing at the bottom, just to kind of mirror it. Okay. And now for the dark blue. And you kind of want to make the laser the same size, or not size, but same color as what your logo is. So you kind of want it to match. Now let's go ahead and do a light blue going across. Actually, I might want to add something, because that white's going to be a little bit big for my liking. Yeah, we'll add one more layer of blue. We'll do a lighter blue at the bottom here. So let me go grab my paint tool. And then we'll grab that light blue again. And do that one more layer across. Yeah, that looks much better. I'll let it go all the way. There we go. And now we'll just paint the middle white. And I think that looks pretty good. Alrighty. Yep. Alright, let's go ahead and modify the mask one more time. Full image, precise. And we'll center it. Okay. Now that we've gotten those out of the way, let's go ahead and create some sound effects. So I've included 2 sound effects in the description there. We'll just name it Sound Laser, and we'll create one more, Sound Spark. Alright, so let's go ahead and load our resources here, and I got these from Newgrounds, so they have lots of resources there. Alright, so let's load our spark. You can hear it really quick. Actually, I think that's the laser. Let me see. Oh no, that is the spark. Okay, and then we'll load our laser here. Okay, so that's it. So now that we have those, we're going to go ahead and create our 3 objects. They're going to be the same, one for each sprite. So we'll make object logo, give it our sprite logo, and okay. Another object. Sorry about that, my recording software cut off there for a second. So where was I? Okay, so now we'll make object spark, and we'll select here to give it the spark of the sprite, or the sprite of the spark, and click OK, and create one more object, and we'll make it object laser, and give it the laser sprite. Okay, so objects are what you see in the game that do everything. So say you see a character walking, that's an object of the character, and it's been given actions to make that character walk. So let's go ahead and first go into our object logo. I'm just going to make that a little bit smaller to fit the screen there. And okay, so in GameMaker, objects are controlled by events and actions. So events are when something happens, and actions are what happens when that event occurs. So let's do a create event and add some actions. So click add event here, go to create, and now let's add some actions. Alright, so in the create event, we're going to make a variable. And variables are basically containers that mirror its contents. So imagine you put a rabbit in a box. That box then would be the same thing as a rabbit. Yeah, I guess that works. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to the control tab here, add a set variable action, and okay, so for the variable or the container, we'll name that alpha. And for the value, or what goes in the container, just leave it at 0 and click OK. Alright, now let's see here. We'll add a play sound whenever this object is created, and we'll go ahead and set it to spark. And yeah, so let's go ahead and go to main 1, add a sound, go ahead and select sound spark, and we'll leave looping to false. Looping, if we set it to true, it means that the sound would continue to play forever and ever. So just leave that to false because we only want it to play once. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to want to do is create about 16 to 20 sparks that come flying off of the logo whenever it's created. Let's see here. Alright, so let's go ahead and add that here, and we'll set it to object spark. So let's set the X value to 65. Sounds about good. And the Y value of -10. And we'll make this relative. Okay, so basically what we did here, the sparks will be created where the object, or where the logo is, with an X value of 65 and a Y value of -10. I'm going to be explaining coordinates more in later tutorials, so don't really worry about them too much right now. Just know that, well, yeah, just kind of do this for now. Alright, so let's go ahead and I'm just going to copy these, and I'm going to paste a couple of them here. Let's do a little bit more. Space. I want a lot of sparks. Make it look kind of cool. Paste and paste. And I'll do one more. Okay. So let's go ahead and add a step event. The step event will be checked constantly, so while the object is in existence, whatever's inside the step event will happen. So in the step event, let's add a test variable. So go back to control and go here, and we'll set the test variable to alpha. And for the value, we can check if it is less than 0.8. So let's add a 0.8 here, and we'll switch this to less than, and click OK. So if the variable alpha is less than 0.8, let's go ahead and add some code blocks here. In between these code blocks, we will add a set variable. So where did that go? There we go. Sorry, I'm not used to using drag and drop anymore. I'm used to coding it. But we'll go ahead and set alpha to 0.04, and we'll set this to relative. And that's it for the step event. So just one more event. We'll go ahead and go to add event, draw, and we'll just set to draw. And I am going to be doing some code here. I'll be going a lot more into detail with code later. Just for now, enter it into it, or enter this into your object, and just know that it's for effects. So go ahead, and right here you'll see this, and it is an execute code action. We'll just add that there. And in this action, go ahead and add draw underscore sprite underscore ext, and parenthesis sprite underscore index, comma 0, comma x, comma y, comma 1, comma 1, comma 0, comma c underscore white, and comma alpha, and we'll do plus random 1 just like that. Okay, so I know this is pretty advanced, and you probably won't understand it right now, but later on I'll be going more into detail with coding, and by that time you should be able to understand it. So we'll just skip explaining that for now. And then we'll go ahead and add an else command, and then some more code blocks. Ooh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna do something else too. So, let's see. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna add another test variable command. We're gonna set to alpha. I'm gonna set the variable to 0.8 again. And yeah, we'll set that to less than. Okay, and we'll add code blocks around this. This will better add to the effects, so we'll just leave that how it is. And now else, so if this is true, then this will happen. Otherwise, this will happen. So let's add that there. And we're going to add a little bit more code. Again, this is a little bit more advanced, and we'll be going more into this later. So let's go ahead and do draw sprite ext once more. Sprite index, comma 0, comma x, comma y, comma 1, comma 1, comma 0, comma c underscore white, comma alpha plus random. I'll put 0.2, and that should be good for now. Alrighty, and click OK to close the object because we're now done with that. And let's go ahead and open up our object Spark. Okay, so let's go ahead and add an event, set that to create, and we'll set a move free action. And for the direction, we'll set that to random parenthesis 150, and for speed, we'll do random 10. Alrighty. Yeah, that should be good. So basically what this does is the direction will be random between 1 and 150. This is based on a 360 degree value. And the speed will be between 1 and 10. Now we want this to be random because sparks aren't the same. Like you've seen a saw go against metal, you'll see sparks flying everywhere pretty crazily, and that's what we want. We want that effect. So this will help us create that effect. And click OK. Next, we will go ahead and add a step event. Yeah, that should be good. Okay. And we'll go ahead and set a gravity action here. And this will add gravity to the game, or to the logo, I should say, based on real world physics. So just like we fall down when because of gravity, we want our sparks to kind of do the same thing. I'll be going more into gravity once we start the actual platforming game. So for now, just kind of add these values. We're going to set direction to, we'll just leave that 0. And for gravity, we'll set that to 0.1. That should be pretty good. Okay. And we'll check the relative box. Now the next thing we're going to do is add a transform sprite. So go to the main one tab, add that there. Leave X scale and Y scale the same. For angle, we're going to set this to direction, and click OK. Alright, so now the last thing we're going to do is want to add an event. We're going to go to Other, Outside Room, and if our spark flies outside the room, we're not gonna need it anymore. So just add a destroy instance and click OK. Alright, now for the last thing is going to be our objectLaser. Now, here with objectLaser, we're going to want the depth to be -200. And basically what this does is it draws it first. So, say you have your character who is walking underneath a tree. The tree you would want to be -200. That way it's drawn on top. Otherwise, you would see your character on top of the tree depending on which object you created first. So you don't want your character to be able to walk on top of trees, you want him to walk underneath trees. So you'd want to set the depth of the tree to -200. So negative gets drawn first and positive numbers get drawn second. So we'll just leave that at that. And okay, so once we have that taken care of, let's go ahead and in the create event, so we'll do add event, create. We'll add a move fixed. We'll have it go to the left, and we want the speed to be pretty fast because it's a laser. You know, those things don't go slow. We'll set that to 30, and click OK. Okay, so now let's see what else should we do to this. Okay, let's go ahead and create a variable too. So go to Control, add a variable, and we'll set the variable to scly. So this is just scale y, how I'm having it, just shortening the name. And we'll go ahead and set the value to 1. Okay, and now we'll add one more variable, and we'll just set that to scale, and we'll leave that at 0. And okay. Okay, so I'm trying to think of how else I want this to do. So okay, so yeah, let's do that. Okay, so go to the main 1 tab, add a play sound, and this is where we'll add our laser sound. Leave looping to false. And I think that should be pretty good for the laser. Trying to see if I should. Yeah, I'll add a couple more effects. So let's go ahead and add a step event, and we'll set variable. I don't know if that'll work. Yeah, go ahead and set a variable, and we'll set scale, or SCL. We'll set that to 1, and we'll set that to relative. So this is going to be depending on where it is on the screen. Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and add about 5 more sparks. So I think I still have those here, yeah. Object spark, yeah, and we'll change this actually to -180. So this way it's flying out of the objectLaser. 180 is facing to the left in GameMaker, so you'll see sparks flying out from the very tip of the laser itself. Let's leave that to 0. And yeah, we'll leave the relative checked. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy this. I'm just going to add about 5 of them. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay, and next we will add a test variable. We'll go ahead and set that to scale. We'll see if that is greater than 10, let's say. Yeah, 10 greater than. We'll add some code blocks. And if it is, then we will create our logo at the coordinates of 240 and 135. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the main one. We'll create our logo here. And what did I say it was? Oh yeah, 240 and 135. I'm not going to do relative for now. Okay. And okay, so yeah, once that happens, then we will destroy our laser, because we won't need it anymore. So, okay. I might actually want to change that to if it's out of the room, but I think it's moving fast enough to where you won't be able to notice. Okay, so let's go ahead and add another test variable. So we'll test scly. We'll see if it's greater than 0. If it is, so we'll add some code blocks. Then we will set the variable scly to negative 0.08. So scly equals negative 0.08. And we'll make that relative. And alrighty. Now let's add a draw event. This will just add to the effect even more. And we're not gonna really explain this again. Again, it's just for effects, and once you get more advanced, then you'll understand it more. I just don't want to try to overwhelm you right now. So let's go ahead and do draw set, and we'll do blend and mode, and we'll do bm underscore add, and then we'll do draw sprite ext sprite index, and we'll do 0, x, y, 1, and we'll do that plus our variable scl, and we'll do scly, 0, and then c underscore white, 0.7 plus random 0.3, and then we'll go ahead and set the blend mode back down to normal. So we'll do draw set blend mode, and then bm normal. Okay, now if you guys can't really see what I'm typing or anything like that, I'll go ahead and every script that I've written here, I will paste in the description, so that way you can just copy it from there. And let me push OK. And alright, I think that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and create a room here. I'm going to go ahead and go to the settings tab, and I'm going to change the width and height. So let's go ahead and set the width to 480. Now we'll set the height to 272. So 272, okay. And now all we gotta do is go to background. We'll set this color to black because it'll look better with the blue color I've chosen. Objects, make sure that your object laser is checked. If it's not, you can just select this little box here and you can choose which object you want. So I'm just gonna select object laser, and then on the right side of the room, I'm gonna add it here about halfway sticking out, as you can see there. So it's about halfway sticking out of the room itself, and that's all we need. So click OK. Let's run the game, and I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, let me do that one more time. Keeps going up the screen here. Here, let me pull out GameMaker a little bit more just so you can see it better. Okay, let me run the game once more now. There we go. As you can see, there are sprites. The company name here is glowing and flickering a little bit. And that's pretty much it. Alright, thank you very much guys, and I'll see you guys in our next tutorial.